Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Teach Different podcast. We got an awesome quote tonight from a Stoic philosopher, Epictetus, who's going to challenge our thinking about life and hope. And our guest today is here for round two, we could say, Jarvis Funches, who is
Yes, sir.
the inspiration. If you haven't read the Teach Different story, but is the inspiration behind a lot of what we do here at Teach Different, a former student of Steve, and it's just an amazingly inspirational story. So we're glad to have him back. And for those of you who've never listened to one of these conversations, we're going to take a really profound quote and we're going to say what it means to us, not to anyone else, but to us through our life experiences, which is so important, to see the wisdom of the world through your own life experiences and giving meaning, as you do that. But then we're going to push against it, right? We can't just look at the world one way. We got other people in the world to deal with. And so we're going to hear from each other's different perspectives and maybe consider some counterclaims to the quote and disagree with it and train our brain that it's okay that there's different ways of looking at the world. And that is the original inspiration behind using quotes. And that's why we're here. And it's so exciting. And then we'll ask questions at the end. So Jarvis, great to have you here. I'm going to read the quote twice. And then you know the drill. You've already done it before. You're going to just say your first thoughts and we're off. So here we go. A ship should not ride on a single anchor, nor life on a single hope. A ship should not ride on a single anchor, nor life on a single hope. Jarvis, welcome back. And what do you think?
Thank you for having me back. This quote jogged my memory to think that, just having one anchor and just even having one hope I feel like that it wouldn't work because you determine your brain is only trained to think of one thing. You stuck in a bubble. Let me say that. You're stuck in a bubble. And the best teacher is experience. So you will have to come out that bubble. So I feel like I'm kind of going against that right now because like having one point of view, you only have your point of view. You see what I'm saying? So, and having multiple point of views would be the best way of that. So I feel like that's that's just putting yourself in a bubble. So, you know,
Too many eggs in one basket, right? That's
yeah,
what everybody's heard of that phrase. And
true.
here's something to think about real quick about the author of the quote. And Dan, you mentioned the author, right?
Epictetus, Stoic.
Epictetus is his name. Now, Jarvis, I don't think I've ever talked to you about the Stoic philosophers.
Mm-hmm.
This was a group of philosophers over 2,000 years ago. And they
Ah,
developed a philosophy of life, like all philosophers do, that uh, believes that life is made up of pretty much 99.99999% of everything that happens to you is out of your control. The only thing you can control is how you kind of react to events and react at what's coming at you. And if you try to control other people or, get disappointed when you don't get that present at Christmas,
right.
or you get hurt by somebody who calls you a bad name, or you just get angry at that person that's driving next to you that isn't going quick enough, you are going to spend your life unhappy, unwise, and you're going to miss wisdom because wisdom is really just in how you react to things. So I bring that up to go back to this quote. Okay, Epictetus was one of the famous Stoic philosophers who came up with this quote. A ship should not ride on a single anchor, nor life on a single hope. The way I'm reading this is it's fine to have dreams, hopes,
True.
but if you put everything into one dream and one hope, and something happens where it has nothing to do with you, something in life happened that made you kind of have to veer off that, not through a fault of your own, but because, hey, you know what? You got to adapt. You got a family member that, is paralyzed now. You thought you were going to be, working this job and you were going to be doing a 9 to 5, but you've got to, like, for the next, few months, maybe sit with them and help them out and delay things for yourself. But that's not something that you asked for. Like, that's just, you got a new anchor now. So I really think that this approach, what this quote is saying to me at least, is you got to be flexible. You got to be adaptable, right? Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, and and you just actually opened my mind up to even think about that. And that's the crazy part about it, and that's very much true. Just having one dream and one hope, and just having that tunnel vision on one thing, and then it doesn't happen. It kind of makes you fall into a slump, or you feel like you're not, you wasn't good enough for anything. But it had nothing to do with you. It was just because of life threw a curveball at you. So you have to be, like you said, flexible. You have to learn how to adapt to situations, and you have to have the best, the kind of like hoping for the best outcome but expect the worst. That's and that's the crazy part about life, man. Like, you have to adapt, and just seeing things from a lot of point of views. And I'm glad you said that, because, like, man, you just started jogging my brain. That was excellent, because, like, that's perfect. Like, that's the perfect example of having a tunnel vision, and then it doesn't go the way you want. So now what do you do? Now what's the approach? How do we go about it now? How do we play ball now? That's the question now. So now you don't give up. So now we got to learn how to deal with this anchor, but also deal with my anchor. And it's just learning about balance. Everything in life is about balance, You know?
Dan, what do you think? Yeah, thank you.
I think those are good examples. The Stoics, as you said, Steve, believe that you can't control life's events. You can only control your attitude and how you react to them. And if that's true, then you can't have a single hope, because when life deals you a different set of cards, you don't know what to do because you have not developed the skills of being able to adapt to a new environment. I got to bring in, I'm watching the Netflix series right now on Aaron Rodgers, and it's really interesting. He had a very singular hope to win the Super Bowl. That's what drove him. The guy's a perfectionist, a self-proclaimed perfectionist. Then when he won the Super Bowl, he got all this attention, this media attention. People started criticizing him. He then started thinking that, oh my gosh, maybe winning the Super Bowl was not the most important thing in the world. What am I going to do now? He'd hitched everything on winning the Super Bowl. When it happened, he felt lost.
Exactly.
And so that's an example of that in sports.
That's a great example, an excellent example too as well, because, like, even like you said, having one hope. Even what happens once you achieve that one hope, or that one dream, that one goal? Like, what's next? Do you have anything next in mind? Because what if you do achieve that one dream, that one hope, and it's not all you thought it would be? So, like, what's next? What do we have? So you have to have, like you said, Mr. Phelps, you have to be flexible. And like you said, Dan, you just have to be optimistic about everything. You want to have an open mind. You don't just want to be stuck on one thing. And it's kind of hard, to be multitasking things at one time. But I mean, it's a privilege as well, because you're learning as well. So you guys had both two great examples of that. Like, that was wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, and it's making me kind of question the word anchor.
Hmm.
It's so easy to pass over words when you're discussing something with people, and you get like too far ahead of yourself, and you're thinking the word means something, they're thinking something else. Pretty soon you're like in an argument about something,
Exactly.
and you shouldn't even be arguing really, because you've got different definitions in your head. So I'm going to kind of throw out an essential question, a little early in this one, and that would be, what does he mean by anchor?
Okay. from my point of view, and just off reading that quote, an anchor would be a burden, a bag, or in a positive way, it'll be something that I can learn from. Like I was saying earlier, it could be something that I could either get some knowledge from, I could take experience from, I can, it could give me guidance, or maybe it's not good for me at all. Like I said earlier, I mean, yeah. So what do you think, Dan?
I'm thinking that's I like that interpretation, Jarvis. The word that popped into my head was stability. That
Stability.
a ship should not ride on a single anchor. That you shouldn't have one thing that's keeping you quote unquote stable.
Exactly.
You to
True.
be as stable as a human being, you need multiple anchors to hold you in existence.
Exactly. That's
Wow.
yeah. He's kind of man. That was nice. That
Those
was
are
nice,
all different too. A burden, uh, a stability,
man.
something to learn. No, I didn't even have my own definition, but let me try. Let me think on this.
Then I'm going to add
And
some when you're done.
okay, well, you know what? You add yours first because mine's going to drift to the counterclaim. I feel it.
Okay, a ship should not ride on a single anchor. A single anchor cannot hold a ship in place. So now the metaphor of a human life is the ship to me. That you can't be held in place in existence with one anchor. You have to have multiple anchors that ground you.
And drives you, man, man. Dan, that's crazy. Cause that's true. It's very much so true. Like, man, like you have to be stable, and for you to be stable, you have to have other resources. Because once this resource die out, or if this resource is not available, what else can you go to? You have to be stable, because if you're not stable in life, like you said, even with a ship, if you're not stable, that ship is not going to stop moving. So now they put the crew in danger. So if you're not stable in life, they put your mind in danger. They put the people around you in danger, because you're not thinking at your best. You're not at your best. You know what I'm saying? So that was, man, because that related to me in life sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like when I'm not stable, I'm here, but I'm not here. So that means, where's my other stability? I'm missing a leg. Where is it? You know what I'm saying? So you have to, and that's just crazy, man. Because I was just thinking about that in life.
And think
The
about
balance.
the. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jarvis.
No, that was it. I was just saying the balance. It's crazy because
It's
you
the
really do need.
balance. Well, it's the balance. Like I'm thinking of a family. Let's call it family friends. That's an anchor.
Mm-hmm.
And so just think about this. Maybe you go off and get in a relationship at some point with someone outside of your friends and family. And for a while, you might think your friends and family aren't maybe as important as they used to be. You got someone who is really all you need, and you're going to put all your eggs in that basket. But then if that doesn't work out, who wants to finish this sentence?
We know how that's gonna turn out.
I mean, look, you're in the end having a family, having friends, having multiple anchors and people that say love you where you belong. That's going to make you so strong for anybody else that comes into your life because you're not going to be maybe expecting too much from them, you know, putting all your eggs in one basket.
See,
So
now that you said it like that, I kind of got a counterclaim against that. Like,
you start it then because I was going to go counterclaim. Go.
oh man, oh man, I'm not doing that. I can't. I refuse to put all my bags into one basket, because man, that basket break, boy, your mind is gonna be everywhere. So in that case, you man, bruh. But sometimes it's good though. And it's hard. It's so hard that like that's to know when to put your basket. I mean, all your eggs in one basket. It's so hard, and it's tricky sometimes too. At the same time, because sometimes you do need to sit all your eggs down so they can be careful. But at the same time, you don't want to sit them all there because you don't know if what is sitting on stable.
You're on the claim right now,
I don't
Jarvis. You're
know,
still on the
man.
claim.
Yeah,
Like,
cause it got me
hey,
balanced. Like, I don't know, it got me tricky.
No, I
Cause
think
like,
he's straddling, Steve. I think he's straddling the claim where
yeah,
sometimes you have to go singular, but you can't. You have to have backup as well. So
yeah, exactly. He explained it more to like more and in greater wording because I'm mixing it up with the counterclaim, but now it's starting to go into real life. You see what I'm saying? And at that point, I kind of drift off from what we were really on because now it's in real life. Because sometimes it's good to sit the eggs in all one basket, but at the same time, it's it's a great risk because not only is you putting your all your eggs in one basket, you're making this a stability. Not you making this a something that's gonna make you stable. So it's good, but then it's bad because now okay, it's making me stable for a great good amount of time. I'm positive, I'm moving, I'm doing good. But when it breaks, damn, what do I do now? And that's the danger part of it. It's like you gotta be mentally ready, man. Like I don't know.
how about this? Instead of always having a little fallback plan and some backup, because whoever you're talking to is going to notice, like, you're not 100% into me. How committed are you to this, say, relationship and our family if you've got these other people always in the back? So maybe what you could do is put yourself 100% in every situation, have it be an anchor, a single anchor. But then if it does not work out, just be ready. You've got to switch it and then go full bore on another anchor and just kind of go from one anchor. Please, God, let this be my final one. And then, oh, didn't work. Let me try this next one. But don't be trying to have five anchors everywhere and take all your energy and give it. You're not gonna. You're everyone's gonna be unhappy with you if
Okay,
you don't put it all in.
so basically what we're saying, Mr. Faust, is that you basically what we're saying, what I got from what you were just saying is that when it comes to a situation or anchor, just put your all into it. Whether it works or not, just put your all into it.
Do it.
Right? Just do it. But there comes a point. That's why. Let's see. Like that's what I keep saying. It's gonna come a point where you're gonna get tired of putting your all into every single anchor because now you're gonna start to. Sooner eventually you're gonna develop the process of a thinking of ain't no anchor gonna be stable enough.
Right.
And now when you get in that mindset, it's kind of hard to even bring you out of it. I'm gonna give you a real life scenario. Okay, we keep going to work, right? Okay, we just say for instance, the boss say he give us $100,000 this year. We come every single day and make 20 sales a day. Okay, we make those 20 sales a day, 365 days a day, no $100,000, right? Okay, cool, boss man. You know what? Maybe it was a difficulty. It's cool, man to man. We'll try this again. We do it again. We do it again. We do it again. Okay, now at this point, I'm going to start to get the mindset of you're jagging me off. Okay, and now I I keep falling victim to it. You see what I'm saying? And now that's gonna make me feel like, you know what, maybe this year I know I'm not gonna get that 100,000. So I'm not even gonna come in every day. I'm not gonna sell 20 cars a day. So now guess what? Now your clientele is depreciating, but also I'm depreciating because guess what? I lost interest, I lost value. I don't want to be a part of it now. See, that's what comes in when having too many damaged anchors. You see what I'm saying?
Amen.
I get what you saying, put your all into it, but at the same time it's gonna be a point in time in my life where you're gonna be like, I'm just tired of dealing with damaged anchors. Like you said, you're gonna be praying to God, but come on, man, God don't come when you want him. He come when you need him. He's an on time God. He
You're
don't
going to
come when you
give
want him.
up. You're going to stop trying. And
Exactly.
if that happens, no one wins.
Nobody wins. So that's why I always say, like, you want to have that. I truly agree with you. Like, in the situation, that like give you 100%, but like there's gonna be time like man, like, now what if, now, like, okay, now we was just against it. Now what if it's come to a point in time where I am giving 50% and there is a person giving me 100%? How do I know the difference? Okay, then that means if this person is giving me 100% and I'm only giving 50, now I have the option to either do this. Okay, I'm going to step out on this ledge again. I'm going to try it one more time. I'm going to try it again. But see, that's where hope comes in at. See, something got to give me hope. See, if I'm riding my ship and I got one anchor and it's halfway broke, but I see some land over there and I feel like I could throw another broken hook out there because it's going to grab the land, I do it. I do it. But it's gonna become a time where you're not just gonna do it. So, in that point, it's like I always say, it's a time and a place for everything. So, I mean, it's tricky, man. Like, it's man, it's
This is
tricky.
tricky, man.
It's
The
tricky.
anchor, your example, Jarvis, this idea of basically your boss promising you all this stuff that never comes through,
Right.
that to me is an answer to the question, what type of anchor should you be looking for? Because if the answer is another man's promise,
Okay.
never,
Never falls through.
never. But I'm going to go hard counterclaim right now. I'm going to try to argue that there could be something like an anchor that you actually can use, and that's the only thing you need. And I'm just going to throw out belief in God.
You feel like that? Okay.
Okay,
And I mean,
I'm going to go with this here, or like an affirmation. If you're a Christian, a belief that like Jesus died for you, for your sins, and that you believe that his life and that motivation and that anchor for you, to be a good person, to be humble, to, take the person outside of the flock and bring them in, to not judge people, to be compassionate. That anchor, if you get that, don't ever get rid of that.
that's true.
And don't look for anything else. You can have everything else be a little bit less than that, but you got your anchor. Like, don't be running around and thinking it's a human being that God's on the couch with you.
Okay.
Like, stop it.
All right. So, can I just jump in real quick?
Yeah.
So, like a word like kindness as well. I mean, you mentioned God, Steve, but just taking it more of a secular, non-religious.
Yeah,
If you define your single hope as something like kindness or love or some general valuable term, that accommodates a lot of muddiness in it where it doesn't always work out. But you're always shooting for kindness. You don't always get it. It doesn't always work out. But that anchor aligns your energies in a very healthy, life enriching sort of way. So, in that sense, going with the counterclaim, it depends on the type of hope that you're articulating as your anchor.
are you saying a hope that other people are kind, or a hope that you yourself can be kind no matter what the situation?
I was thinking about it in the spirit of Stoicism and Epictetus, the author. Your reaction being kind, no matter what
That's
people
what I
do
thought.
to you, towards you.
I got you.
Okay. And that's what. See, you know what? And I got something great. I'm gonna lay it on the table right here. That I got a quote. Well, I don't know if it's my quote, but I say it a lot, so I call it my quote. I say, love people for who they are and not for who you want them to be. And what I mean by that quote is that this, and like you said, Dan, like, just having that positive beam, even though you're going through muddy situations, just still having that positive beam. I feel like having knowledge. of who you're dealing with in the situations that you have deal with. And I feel like you said, Mr. Phelps, God put you in a lot of repeated situations so you can learn. But it's up to you how you react to the situations. Just like the author wrote the quote. See, we all got the same point of view, but we all coming from a different point of perspective. You see what I'm saying? Now, this is where it get really juicy at. See, now I could use these anchors to not only learn like how we're doing, but I know not to use them as much as I need to because I can relate to any positive being that I'm thinking in my head. That's what comes that whatever you think of yourself, you correspond into the reality of the world. So whatever you is thinking in your brain, that's where you have to learn how to become in peace here. See, if a lot of people become at peace here, but your brain, like, look, in the reality world, like we say, non-religious people, if you learn how to be at peace in here, you learn how to love yourself in here, knowing that everything, reality or material, doesn't matter. As long as your peace in here resides, it beams you off. It makes you want to be positive. Now, corresponded to the Christians, us having God, us going in the corner praying to God, knowing that He'll make everything all right. Whether He do it on time or whether He do it at all, I know that without a doubt, I got God on my side, and that's what keeps people going. Just even being positive. So I feel like whatever you think of yourself, that's what you really put out into the world. And I feel like once again, coming at peace with yourself plays a big part in that, and finding yourself plays a big part in that because a lot of people do find themselves playing or mimicking other people. Like they don't even know who they are for real. You just mimicking somebody else that you're seeing. You're not saying it. Maybe other people don't know, but you know personally you're mimicking somebody else's lifestyle. It's not you. It's not what you really, you know what I'm saying? So find yourself, come at peace with that. And a lot of things, and that's what I have done. And it's crazy. Like these quotes always, responds to me because like I said on the last chat, I spent 3 years in prison at 18 all the way up to I was 21. So when I had got out of jail, I realized that I no longer wanted to live to society standards, and that's what this anchor. That's what this anchor comes in at, because it could be an anchor, because you really do think what people feel about you, or I have to be this type of person in life so these people can like me. That's in reality world. Or in the spiritual realm, you feel like, hey, if I do this to this person, I'm going to get punished for it. Like that's not always reality, but how you deal with that situation in your brain it's your reality. It's how you want to go about the situation. No, I'm not going to be negative because this person is negative. You don't have to be like those. You are unique because you're not like those. It doesn't make you unique because you're like those. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what can help a lot of people. Whoever listening to this, like, just always remember, like, be unique, because the one thing truly is not a heartbeat out here like yours, and it's never gonna be a person like you again in life. So always cherish that. Even if you're not rich, even if you is poor, even if you are on the streets, cherish that the fact that it'll never be a person like you a day in life again. So you have to learn how to first become at peace here. We can't I can't make anybody else feel good if I'm not feeling good inside. I can't. I just can't say anything positive to you, Steve or Dan, if I'm feeling negative. I just can't. It's not gonna work like that. But if I'm feeling at peace with myself, it's gonna vibrate
That
off.
I think you
that
found an
peace
anchor.
It's gonna vibrate
that
off.
sounds like an anchor, and it sounds very similar to Stoicism, Jarvis. We're gonna. This isn't our last conversation. We're gonna be bringing in some Stoicism, and I think that you're actually on it because, like I said before, they're all about it's how you react to your experiences that are important, not the 99% that happens to you. It's that 1% that you put back out into the world. That's their whole philosophy. So I think you're right on it. They have a phrase in Stoicism called making progress. They say that the more you live inside this realization that the peace that you create in your own mind and your ability to control your reactions everywhere, you start making progress and becoming more wise by living a life like that. and everyone else is running around not understanding that their happiness is not right next to them, but they're looking past it.
Or they not feeling it, you know, like the vibrations. I feel like it's two things you can control in life: your circle and your brain. Birds of a feather flock together. Whoever you're around is gonna correspond onto you, whether you like it or not. Like my grandfather always told me, you hang with four broke people, you're gonna be the fifth. You know why? Because the whole circle has a broke mentality. It's not gonna make a difference about you coming along with a rich mentality because they don't see your point of view. So you coming along trying to help them is only gonna drag you down. You're not because they're not gonna understand, and eventually they're gonna make you comfortable, or they're gonna make you feel dumb enough, or even bad to even be around. Man, you feel like you're better than us, or you're bougie, or anything like that, or
They'll hate on you.
exactly. And then some people, well, a lot of people, 85% of the people are dumber themselves down to even be around these people off of what they think of them. So I feel like it's two things you can control in life: your circle and your
Right.
brain. Your circle and your brain. I mean, like that's absolutely what you can control. You don't have to be around negative energy. You don't have to. Now, if you choose to sit there and stay in it, then you know who knows what's next. Probably a negative outcome. You never know. But
Yeah,
that's what helped me in life.
that's great. And you said 1%, Steve. I would say it's 80-20 Stoics. That
Yeah,
there's a lot of things you can control in your head and the peace that you create for yourself, where the rest of the world is operating in a different frequency. But you have the right frequency, you know, in your thinking self. Well, this is great. We got an essential question a little earlier. Did any of you have one that has come from this
I had a question.
conversation? What's a good question to kind of end this?
I had a question. When do you know? When do you know if an anchor is good or bad for you?
Great one.
That was something. That was
Beautiful.
something that I had to juggle with doing life. Like, and I just use a different wording for the people that probably can't correspond with the word anchor. Like, when do you know if it's a burden or if it's a positive? When do you know? When do you ever know? When is it a great timing for you to know?
Those are
Great.
great. Going with the single hope, if you go with the counterclaim, a question is, what is the single hope I should base my life on? It's going to be different for different people.
That's similar to mine. Mine was like, what kind of anchor is worth it?
Exactly. You know,
They're so close. They're related. All these questions.
that was a real like question that I always like in real life, like when do you know when it is that moment? Like we were saying earlier, when do you like giving 100% every time and it's not working? When do you know when it's the one? And that's what I always juggle, even to this day. Like I still don't know when it's going to be the one, and that's why I always struggle the fence. So like, if there's anybody that even could comment or watch this, or even can answer my question, or even been through what I've been through, like just let me know, like like how do you know when it's the right time? Because a lot of time it could be off, and that's a problem I have with timing. And like
That's
man,
that's a tough one there because it is timing, and I mean, that's maybe a reminder that as much as we want to say it's all about what's in our own head, it is kind of dependent a little bit on circumstances as to what's going to work, and sometimes it's hard to know that. Granted, I don't know if that's what you were talking about with the 80-20 thing, Dan, but I don't know.
No, just that a lot of with Stoics, a lot of the energy of life is how you react to life and how you think about life and how you process it and how you control your behavior towards what's given to you. And I just thought it's you were treating it like it was like 1% and everything else is out of control, but Stoics,
Everything
they
else is
they
out of
they,
control.
they put a
It
lot of
feels like it.
they put a lot of value on the human being's ability to control their attitude and perspective. So I just, brought that up. Well, this has been great questions. I think we worked the claim and the counterclaim. This is a great one to see through your own personal experiences, I think, and really it's very thoughtful, to process this and how it relates to your life. And I thought we did an amazing job doing that. And we played off each other's ideas extremely well. Jarvis, round 2 is over. This was fantastic. We're going to have you back for multiple ones, since you're, as I said at the beginning of the podcast, a key inspiration behind what we're doing here. We're just honored to have you as a guest. I don't know what else to say. It's great to have you here.
Thank you. I hope you enjoy your Netflix series, Dan. Let me know how it go next time,
All
man.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you for
Okay. Well,
thank you for even jogging my mind, man. I'll be looking forward to this. That was great. But get that question out there though, Mr. Phelps, man. Even though we can't control it in here, man, when do you even know in here when this is the right time, man? Like, when is it, man? Like, cause you would think it's the right time and do it, and then it's not the right time, and then you think it's not the right time, and then don't do it, and then it be the right
Oh,
time. So like it be just like like I don't know. So like if you
it's
get
like
that
I
question
did
out
too
there, man.
much or I missed the opportunity. I did too
Exactly,
much or I
exactly,
missed the opportunity. I mean,
exactly.
figure that out. I'm going to get you a copy, Jarvis, of it's on the internet. I'll send you like a link to this, but
Okay.
it's called The Handbook. That's
The
what it's
handbook.
called. And it's written by this Epictetus, this Stoic philosopher that came
Mm-hmm.
up with this quote. And it's got a bunch of like really quick paragraphs that let his philosophy out, that you literally, when you got like 5 minutes, you can just read one of the paragraphs. It's almost like the Bible, like reading a verse. I'll send it to you and you can just tell me what you think. And you're going to get more in depth into that type of philosophy and tell me what you think.
yeah, it's a
Okay,
handbook
cool. That's great.
showing how to live in a world that's out of your control.
Yeah.
What an
It's the handbook
amazing,
on living.
what an amazing, journey to share.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
true.
Well, this has been great. Again, thanks, Jarvis, for everything, and
Thank you too.
for everybody. We're looking forward to publishing this episode on the Teach Different podcast, and hope you enjoy listening to it. Until next time, take care.
Take care.